Well guys, good morning. Good morning and welcome to the backside of this reefer truck in front of me. I am in Logan, Utah, and this is the start of my journey toward back home near Astoria, Oregon. I rode about 1,200 miles to the Arizona border last week and then did the entire 1,100 mile long Utah BDR with my son on our V-Stroms, and now I'm headed back toward home. If I drove the shortest route home, it would be about 800 miles, and it takes me about 12 hours to do. I am planning on breaking this up into 2 days on the way home. And I'm not going to go the shortest route. I am going to do some freeway miles here at the very beginning in Idaho, but then I'll pop off in Mountain Home. And the plan is to camp at unimproved, not too well-known hot springs location tonight, and then finish the ride home tomorrow. Now, I say not too well known, but a few times that I've been to this place, there's been quite a few people camping there. So if we get there and it's crowded, I'm not going to stay there. One of the allures of these unimproved, unmarked hot spring locations is the fact that you can be alone. If I can't be alone, then I don't want to be there. So there is a hotel nearby. So if I get there and it's crowded, we'll head to the hotel tonight. But as I mentioned earlier, I just completed the Utah BDR with my son. The bikes are a little bit worse for wear. My chain is stretched a bit, and so I took the time yesterday to retension the chain, clean it up and service it really good, lube it. We aired our tires down because of the number of off-road miles that we were doing, and some of it was loose sand and silt and rocks and stuff. And so I aired my tires back up to street pressure yesterday. Cleaned up the bike a bit, gave it a good once over. It's still in good shape, so I think we're good for our ride home. To check and see here. On this trip, I am currently at 2,459 miles. That's since, well, that's over my day number 10 today. By far the longest motorcycle trip I've ever taken. Well, I've been on the road for, I don't know, 450, maybe 500 miles from Logan. Didn't film any of that, or very little of it, because it was just freeway miles, not exactly very picturesque. I've already turned off the main road, and I'm headed toward the hot springs I talked about earlier. I have been here a few times. Pretty neat spot. The hot springs is actually on an island. And it's right on the edge of the river, so if you get too hot in the hot water, you can just kind of roll over out of the hot spring right into the river. There's no signs. It is marked on maps, so it's like researchable. You can find it. Obviously the road's a little bit rough. Not that you couldn't take a car back here. I think you could. You just... a little rough. Now the plan is to camp here if there's no one here, but I'm already seeing some people here. So I don't know, we might just stop and check it out and then continue on our way. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be trying to cross this in the bike. Now, I've been out here before a couple of times. The hot springs is out on that island across the river right here. The river actually flows on both sides of this island out here. And I've been here both in the summer and the winter before. The winter's pretty awesome because there's big chunks of ice. This is all iced over and the ice is flowing through here. You got to navigate through that to get out to the hot springs. But yeah, this is too much water for me to try and get the bike out there. Too much risk. Water's moving too fast. There's some big rocks out there and it might be shallow enough, but if I hit one of those and dump the bike over, it's gonna ingest some water and then I'll be in a heap of trouble. So, well, there's two pools here. You have the upper one and the lower one down there. The effluent from this one flows into that one, so that the river's really high right now, so that lower one's going to be a little bit cooler for sure. Whew. Man, that's hot. Yikes. I actually walked over here, and there was someone over here, but he's gone, so I got the hot springs to myself, but there's about 10 different vehicles camped over there, so I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people coming and going. I'll probably continue on tonight on the motorcycle, but not before I dip in the hot water here. Man, that's hot. Whew. Yeah, I think this is going to be like a 2 or 3 minute soak. This is uncomfortably hot right now. It's a hot day. That doesn't help. I've been here during the winter, and it's actually amazing during the winter. Not sure what temperature this water is, but it's almost painful to get in, so maybe 108. I don't really know. Should bring a thermometer. Yeah, a couple of minutes is about all I could handle in that upper pool. I put my stuff down here. Let's check this lower pool out. Well, the water's actually pretty high right now. So you got the river flowing around the corner here, and you got this pool. You can kind of see bubbles coming up in here. So you got some effluent from that upper pool flowing in, plus some hot water coming in here. It's actually got some kind of gross, scummy pond scum stuff in it. It's like murky looking. This is like, I
I'm guessing the water temperature in here is maybe 85 or 90. It actually feels like I've got pockets of hot and cool water. It's actually really nice. Oh, it's way more comfortable than that upper pool. That one's just too hot right now. No complaints about the view. Well, the Malheur River got the better of me when I was crossing back. There's big boulders down in there, and that water's not super deep, but it is waist deep, and it's moving pretty good. I made it over there without going down, but I lost my footing on the way back, and definitely went for a ride. Had the foresight to grab both of my sandals though, right as they were swept off my feet. And I have that Climb Adventure backpack. It is not advertised as being waterproof, but despite being completely dunked under as I was swept downriver for a little while, amazingly everything inside all the compartments is dry. So I don't know, it's a good testimonial, I guess. So yeah, everything probably would have been okay except for this air compressor. That's obviously not designed to be wet, but yeah, no complaints. I guess I should lift it up. I guess the bottom of the backpack is wet. Anyway, got my jersey all wet. So we're gonna let the sun and the wind do its thing for a little bit and dry everything out before I get back on the road. Well, this wouldn't be a half bad place to camp, but like I said, there's just too many people here for me. And actually I'm feeling pretty rejuvenated after my dip in the hot spring, and even more rejuvenated after my ride, my impromptu whitewater rapids ride down the Malheur River. Yeah, it's funny, the water is probably twice as high as it was last time I was here right now. I mean, it's possible to drive across when the water's lower. Definitely impossible to take this bike across. If I had tried to do that, I would have dumped the bike 100%. But because I was carrying my jersey with me, and that got soaked, I now actually have the benefit of a little bit of good old-fashioned water-cooled swamp cooler effect, some kind of motorcycle air conditioning. I don't know. The shirt's soaking wet, and so the wind's gonna make things nice and cool for me. So for those of you that are interested, I'm not going to give the name or the specific location of this hot springs, but I've mentioned it's on the Malheur River. If you've got any Google skills at all, you can figure it out. The guy in this Tacoma, his name's Ethan. He was the guy that was down there I chatted with a little bit. Alright, well, because I feel so rejuvenated, I'm gonna hit the road again. I happen to know there's a little motel at the town that's down the street and a cafe. I may stop there for dinner and then see how I feel after that. It's not too late yet, it's not even 6 o'clock. The benefit of a time change, I guess. Alright, well, let's put some more miles behind us.
Well, I made it home yesterday, by the grace of God. Man, that was probably the worst 5 hours of riding of my entire life, hands down. Man, I got over the top of Mount Hood, and it was about 40 degrees at the summit. Figured it would get a little warmer as I descended, but it really didn't. And it started raining when I went over the top of Mount Hood, and it did not stop until I got about 30 minutes from home. And not just a little bit of rain, but big sideways thunderstorm type rain for hours. There was standing water on the freeways, and I passed probably a dozen car crashes on I-205 and I-84 due to standing water. You know, of course, drivers being what they are, most of us were slowing down for the standing water because there was floating debris, like chunks of wood and stuff like that in the road, but there was always that one guy that would go flying right by and just, you know, doused me with water. So, and I didn't want to stop the bike. I felt like if I stopped, I probably wouldn't want to get back on. So anyway, I rode through all of that for about 5 hours and just got soaked to the bone and chilled. I got here and my fingers were purple, and even with my electric heated grips on my bike, it just not fun. I tried to take a video of it, but the memory card in my GoPro was full, and like I said, I didn't want to stop and change that out, so just kept riding. But anyway, made it home in one piece. All my gear's a little bit wet. Obviously it's raining outside. Those two things are rain proof, and so I'm not too worried about those right now. I'll pull the bike in a little bit later and finish unloading my gear. But so that's it. I got some repairs to do on the bike. I got to weld my skid plate up. Check out my rear tire. It had about 500 miles on it when we started. It is like worn down to almost nothing. This tire is worn out. So I went through an entire rear tire on this trip. So I need a new rear tire, need to fix the skid plate. Oil change is due. Probably gonna put new brakes in it. The front brake pads are definitely worn down. Yeah, but really the V-Strom held up great. I really, probably not enough bike for the Utah BDR. We really put it through its paces, but hey, it's back here in one piece and really no major problems. So, well, I went to check and see what my total mileage was, and battery was dead. And I realized I rolled in last night, I was so cold and tired, I forgot to turn off the heated grips. And so the battery is dead this morning. But I have an anti-gravity lithium battery, and it's got an auto jump start feature. I've never tried it before, so I pulled my luggage off. We're gonna pop the seat and see if this actually works. It's a good test. I can do it at home instead of when I might really need it out in the field. So when the battery's dead, you're supposed to be able to hit this button. Wow. That is an amazing feature, and it worked great. Battery's charging, so I'll let the bike idle here just a little bit. Let's see what my total mileage was. 3,328.1 miles. Quite a few miles for a couple of weeks on a bike. All right, that's going to be the end of this trip. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.